Jonathan, thank you for being patient enough to stay with us over the news. I do appreciate it. And I understand we've interrupted a tennis game, so I do hope you're winning. Just a couple more questions for you about the amount of tax that companies are paying. If you had the ear of the Chancellor, what would you advise that he does?
I would, with regards to taxation of multinationals, there are so many ways that these guys can get round tax. Like, for instance, they can base, quote, head offices, unquote, in tax havens such as Liechtenstein or the British Virgin Islands or places like that. And quite simply, the Chancellor can say, look, unless it's a proper trading entity, you cannot base your activities there. Because many of these offices, as it were, are just post office boxes. They don't actually do anything. And it's so obvious, everyone knows about it, but nothing gets changed. So there's one thing that he could do, and he could do it very quickly. And I want to go back on the point. Just because companies will have to pay more tax, it's not going to stop them doing activities, because if they make a profit at something on a net basis, they'll do it.
What about risk, though? I mean, I run my own business. If I have more money in the coffers, I'm probably more likely to try something new, to set up a new business, to not save that money, to spend that money. If I'm paying more tax, then it might restrict how I operate my business.
Well, again, for a small company, I'm making the assumption that you're in a small company. Yes, I'm sure that's true. But international companies have a totally different outlook on things. For example, there are lots of other things they can do to reduce risk. Outsourcing IT to India, for one example off the top of my head. So there's lots of things they can do. It doesn't stop them making profit if they pay more tax. That's the point I want to make here.
OK, I hear you loud and clear. Finally, my last question, I promise. What would you say would be a fair rate of corporate tax on profit?
Well, I think a fair rate for international companies to pay is the same rate that your company and my company pays, which is the small business rate, which is about 20% on corporate profits. So, yeah, I think 20%. Then you've got the national insurances. I think that's a fair rate. What do you think?
Sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty fair to me, but Jonathan, as you know, I'm on the BBC, so I can't express an opinion. But if you had a picture of me in the studio or a camera, I'm nodding my head furiously. Jonathan, really good to have you on the radio.
Well, thank you very much. You may say all that, but you couldn't possibly comment.
I'm more interested in how you're getting on the tennis court.
Well, I'm about to find out. I'll keep you updated.
All right, mate. Good to have you on the show this morning. You take care.
Bye-bye.
That's Jonathan Davis, who's been kind enough just to hold on during the news to speak to us.